Welcome, Pauline.
Hi, I'm Denise.
Hi, Denise and Bob.
I just finished reading a poem about a prodigal son who came home. And if you're ready, would you like to present your poems now? And I should tell you, I didn't know my husband when I wrote this book. Goes so well.
Sorry, I was late. Kind of got lost.
Everyone does. I'm glad you made it.
Thank you.
And will you tell us your name again?
Yeah, my name is Bob Purcell. And my girlfriend and I live in Burgess. We moved here in October
Great.
from San Diego.
Oh,
So there's a lot of newbies.
yeah.
Yes.
You, I just came back.
Great. So this poem I wrote, this poem is about, I wrote it 50 years ago, and then I revised it this poetry month, and it made it as a finalist into the Edward Morgan 100-year poetry competition that was run by Gutter magazine in Scotland. It's about my last night at university, where I spent a year in Edinburgh. And I actually just went back and I revised the poem there. This is called Whiskey Taken. And it talks about Sorley MacLean, who was a poetry professor of mine at Edinburgh University, and Hugh McDermott, who was also at university there. So Whiskey Taken. Whiskey taken with Hugh on Sorley, smuggled into Blackwell's on my last night at university. I was young, an American. I did not know how Scott land squared with each man, or how each man squared with his land. All the MacLeans and MacLeeds who were there at the time in Loch Shilchiam, the dead had been seen alive. MacLean closed his eyes and howled like a lesser royal's beagle, head back. McDermott would not talk, just move stones about his glass in a circle. Each man imperfect, each poet perfect. They became the wind that compelled all dialects to bless a nation's clouds. But what became of that whiskey? That Uski Brentha, that life water? What became of clearances? What came of life's prompts, of my own Fran choices, or my poetry? I do not know what came from Sorley and Hugh. I do know I've let those lessons be still in my heart. Fastnet on a hollow. It's a bit of Scots from Sorley MacLean's great poem called Howling, which Seamus Heaney, the famous Irish poet, who was a Nobel Prize winner in 2003, translated. So if you're interested, you can read that poem in the Scots, and then you can read the poem in English from and I read that poem every day in April being poetry month. So I figured I'd read it since we are here in Kilmarnock, which is close to Edinburgh. As someone who's new here, I get very confused because I know where Kilmarnock is, and it's nowhere near Lancaster.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not as industrial here either.
No. I don't live in Kilmarnock. Let's see. So, in another life, I was the senior vice president of marketing at Dunkin' Donuts and ran purchasing and quality control and marketing at Dunkin' Donuts for 8 years. And so I bought 184 million pounds of coffee each year, which is about a quarter of a pound for every man, woman, and child in this country. So French press is the best way to have coffee. It is also the messiest. So I had a solution for that. And this poem is about spring's first day. This year, spring's first day was March 20th, and just one of my morning rituals. I wake up, make some coffee, I drink some coffee. I write a love note to my partner, Miss Lindsay, put it in her coffee cup, and she wakes up really late. So she sees that. So this is a poem about that morning ritual. It's about spring, a poem called Spring's First Day. On spring's first day, if only out of habit, in a private ritual, had I not emptied my French press grounds onto the late snow in my daffodils' uncombed sanctum, where dead, red-headed sparrow decays, then we would not be illuminated by the daft's tassels and the jonquil's liminal veils. On spring's first day, that tell us all the truth about loving yourself first.
Very nice.
And this is also a poem I wrote during April. It's about crabbing and how crabs move during the season. And it's starting now this week. The males are starting to go upriver to go into fresher water, and the females follow them next week for some obvious reasons. So the crabmen are out in their skiffs. So this is about that. It's about a poem called Cold Rain. Cold, self-centered rain does not bother the blue crabmen working in teal skiffs up our Wacomico. Since childhood, they've known that males move upriver, tracking real rain that holds spiritual perfection in a 1,000-year heart. Thank you. Thanks for listening.
This is my husband, Alvaro. He's the artist.
Hi. Oh,
Hi.
great.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Great
And I'll
space.
introduce you to everyone else later.
Okay.
Nice.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you for coming and sharing your work.
Oh, yeah, no, it's great to be here.
I'm going to read one final poem and then say a closing.
And we have an open house every month, you know.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we'll invite you back.
Thank you.